I'm enjoying a little bit of peace in one of my favourite havens. This one is in London, where I spend a bit of time, and it's a beautiful garden. You can hear the noise of the city, but you can also get the sounds of nature. And I come here for that calmness. And as I sat here in the calm, actually, a thought arose as thoughts turned to the Edinburgh Fringe. Over 3,000 shows and rising. It's a noisy city if you've not been before. Or you've been before. Those that have been before will know exactly what I'm talking about here. Those of you who have not are going to experience what I sometimes describe as a cacophony. And it can be really thrilling. And you can find yourself, particularly if you're staying a bit out of town, coming into the city first thing and not getting home pretty much every day until very late. And so that noise can actually can be bad for your mental health. It can be bad for your physical health. It can involve queuing a lot, not even being able to walk past anybody on your way somewhere because the streets are literally so packed. Try going up the Royal Mile, but other streets can literally be a complete crowd. And I say there's a thrill about it. There can be a positive energy about this party atmosphere, this mood of creativity, this busyness, but it can equally be very draining, very exhausting, and even create stress. And so finding your haven at the heart of the Edinburgh Fringe will be different for different people, but there are a few tips and bits of advice, some of which are really common sense, some of which maybe you're so immersed in it you don't think about it. Now here I am in a garden, and Edinburgh has, like any good city, its quiet places. Actually, Edinburgh has two things really. It does have its parks and its playgrounds, and it's not far to get down to Holyrood Park. It's not far to go out onto the meadows, even though that is busy as a place during the Fringe. There are a few quiet places. You can jump on a bus and end up, if you've got time, in the Pentland Hills. You can pop down to the seaside and find a bit of quiet part of the beach. Even if you go to North Berwick on a train, about half an hour, which is full of tourists, it won't take you long to walk a bit along the beach and find your haven. Your haven will be somewhere a bit quieter. You'll be able to hear and feel the breeze, particularly hearing the sounds of nature in a noisy city. And where I'm sitting at the moment, there's quite a lot of noise at the moment. It's getting close to rush hour. But this little garden here, actually in Hammersmith, there's a few secret gardens around here. It can be really quiet. You can find a walk in Edinburgh down by the river, as you can in London, and some of those places are busy, but again you might find a bit of stretch of river and look it up on a map. Look for the tourist websites that point out those places to get away from it all. In Edinburgh you've got lots of parks, lots of little spaces, even squares like you have in London, and you can just find a place in the middle just to sit for a little while. You probably won't get complete silence in a city, but you'll get a sense of getting away from, I'm going to call them your cares, your troubles. Because even when things are going well, there's a kind of troubled nature in Edinburgh about so many things to do, and it just takes time to even queue for a coffee or to buy a bottle of water. So greenery is a classic place to go. Down off Princes Street in the gardens there, you can still find a little corner that's a bit quieter, even on a busy day. What you probably most have to do though is just allow a little bit of time now and then to jump on a bus. My favourite is to go to Rosslyn Chapel and to stay there a little bit, maybe walk down to the castle, not on the busiest days, and just spend an hour in nature, and you can really hear the sound of streams happening. But there are other havens in Edinburgh that might not provide you complete quiet, but there's a sense of getting away from things. In Edinburgh that can be museums, that can be libraries, and it can be the National Portrait Gallery and some of the other art galleries that would just give you a little space and a bit of inspiration. I have favourite cafes in Edinburgh, but jumping on a bus and heading out of town for half an hour, you'll find there are little neighbourhoods that are a bit quieter, Stockbridge, heading down to Leith, and you'll find your favourite cafe, and that can become your haven. And particularly going slightly out of hours, I recorded another video. If you can, get up really early. You'll get Edinburgh's calm before it wakes up, like you do in a lot of cities, and it can really, really feel quiet. And again, you can just relax. You might think of nothing, you might go into that meditational place, or you might run all your thoughts by you and order them, and taste the coffee without hurrying it, taste the tea without rushing it. I think I mentioned there is another possibility earlier, and that is that Edinburgh also has very, very narrow little twittons, little passages coming off main streets, and sometimes you can walk down there and you might find a cafe, or you might find there's a little residential area and there's a park bench, and they can be places, finding your favourite place to sit. But it is literally, amongst the noise, the cacophony, a chance to get away from it all and gather yourself in. Interestingly too, though, there are other places of quiet and calm. Sometimes when you're there first thing in the morning at your venue, there are some shows, but it's not as busy, and you might find that the bar in your own venue, and there might be some other social spaces in other venues that are quite nice places to go. Actually, George Square Gardens, there's some big hubs like Underbelly there and Assembly, and when it opens, the first half an hour can be quite quiet. And just even outside there might be a step to sit on, and it's just that place to breathe in, breathe out, mostly breathe out your worries. And that could be a place to, if you still do, write a postcard, send an email that's more about back home to family, let people know how you're up, what you're up to, how you're feeling. And outpouring your feelings sometimes is quite a good thing to do as well. For me, as I sit here in this garden, there's a little hose just making the grass a bit greener before the ban comes in, I'm sure, quite soon because of drought. But I'm sitting here, and what I love about this at the moment is I'm just noticing certain things. I'm certainly noticing the birdsong amongst some of the traffic, the rumble of London. The sun is behind some clouds on this very warm and humid day, and thunderstorms are all over the weather forecast at the moment. For me, that's another place to find a haven, which is a little covered area to sit. It can even be a bus stop for 2 minutes just to let everybody walk by except you. But I love it in Edinburgh, and it does happen when it's raining and I'm just looking out of a window. Even in a noisy cafe, you can just look out on the view and become a people watcher. And because it's not about you for a moment, you can just notice other people, and that can be a calming place too. Your favourite breakfast place, if you've got the money to buy breakfast, but if not, the place to take your breakfast and just sit there again, that park bench where suddenly it's all going by and you can notice things. If you don't do that, the downside can also be you're so immersed in sensory observation, sensory experience the whole time, is that you don't remember Edinburgh when you get away from it afterwards. It's just too much sense experience, too many things going on, and no time like good food to digest it and just let it go down a bit. So I would say, whether you're a theatre maker, whether you're a reviewer, whether you are in Edinburgh for a few days to go and see some shows, find that half an hour. If you're there for the whole month or for a few days, find that little daily routine of a favourite place that's a little bit off the beaten track, and most of the track is well beaten in Edinburgh. So look down the side streets, be safe if it's at night, find those park spaces, those park benches, those quiet corners, stop for a moment and actually taste and digest this thing that is the Edinburgh Fringe. It's a feast, but that feast can overwhelm.